We now return to Illinois Rising, presented by the Illinois Opportunity Project, the radio show discussing honest truth about Illinois policy and politics. Here's AM 560's Dan Proft.
Dan Proft back with Ted Dabrowski, president of wirepoints.com, and this edition of Rising. And I don't know what to do other than keep telling these stories, Ted, and see if people want to change out those who designed these systems. Albin Pogorsky. Albin Pogorsky retired at the age of 58 in 1998 from the Fox River Water Reclamation District. Serves about 180,000 residents out Kane County way. During his time, 40 years of work at this Water Reclamation District, paid $93,900 into his retirement. That was his contribution. Total, $93,900. His pension today is $211,000. He has received, in his 20 years of retirement, $3.5 million in pension payments for the $93,000 he put in. I don't even know what to say anymore. That I guess will penetrate the consciousness of the electorate in this state, particularly the suburbs, but just in general. These numbers are staggering.
No, they're staggering, and they're going to keep growing, right? And people are living longer and longer, especially these kind of people that have these kind of jobs. They're not risky jobs, right? So he's going to rake in more and more, and it's going to grow at 3% every year. So the staggering number will become super staggering. And
why? And then people are, why? What about my property taxes? Why are my property taxes so high? I mean, nothing personal with Albin Pogorsky, although somewhat personal. I mean, he just benefiting from the system as designed, but because of Albin Pogorsky is why your property taxes are so high. Or, for example, a North Cook news story this week, retiring Maine West High School principal Audrey Hagen, she contributed $358,000 toward her pension over her 33 years working for public schools and contributing to the Teachers Retirement Fund. It's projected that if she lives to, she's 54 years old, retiring at 54. Her final year salary, $162,000 as Maine West High School principal. If she lives to average life expectancy of a woman in her age cohort, she could collect as much as $7.137 million on $358,000 in contributions. She will get back everything that she put in by year 3. She will make more by the age of 65, retired after nine years into retirement, than she did when she was working.
That's how it's designed. That's how it works.
It's designed to you make more in retirement than you did working.
And after 25 years, you're making 2 times more.
I don't think people understand this.
Well, but Dan, there's an important point I want to make. Maybe some people think that these are one-offs, like we're picking out one here, one there, and they're, the truth is, and we've all looked at this, this is everywhere, and it's not just the superintendents, it's not just the big dogs. It's lots of this. The whole system works that way. It's designed for the smallest teacher to the highest paid teacher. It's systemic. It's everywhere in every district.
And then people can't figure out. We did a story in Kane County this week about what's happened, what the home sales are like the first 6 months of this year. Story after story of people losing 6 figures on sort of median-priced homes when they go to sell because of the property taxes paid, the way the property taxes have devalued the home in terms of market value. It's just remarkable. For more on this topic, and particularly that area, Maine West High School in Des Plaines, we're pleased to be joined by Marilyn Smolinski, who is a Republican candidate running for state representative in that district against the incumbent Democrat Marty Moylan. Marilyn, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So in Des Plaines and Park Ridge and parts of Elk Grove Village that are in your district, what are the conversations you have with future constituents about property taxes?
I mean, it's definitely the leading issue. I mean, it's a big reason why I'm running. We've got a system of government set up that benefits the people in charge, not the regular folks in our district. And when I meet with people throughout the community or when I'm going door to door, many of these residents have conveyed to me that they already have plans in place to move out of state because the property taxes are too high. And an example like this, and of this, the gentleman at the water reclamation system as well, I mean, these are just prime examples of the driving factors of why our property taxes are so high. And it's not just happening here, like Ted mentioned. It's a problem that we have across the state.
Why do you think, Marilyn, why do you think people put up with it? Is it, and I guess they don't. A lot of them that leave don't, right? And I think the more people that are leaving, the more we say that Illinois maybe don't care, but as the outmigration just picks up, right? We've lost over, on a net basis, 1.3 million people since 2000. Maybe they are leaving, but there's a lot of them who seem to be putting up with it. Are they, or do they not know? Or what's your feel about why we haven't been able to change things?
I think we haven't been able to change things because we keep sending the same people down to Springfield. I mean, we've got the same people going down to Springfield who are underfunding these pensions, who have stole from these pension systems. And I want to go down to Springfield to bring back some transparency and fiscal responsibility.
And with respect to Maine West High School, I mean, that's a high school where less than half of the students, according to the Park exam, were rated as college ready, spends $19,000 per kid. Do you sense at all that people are starting to take a look at what we're spending on K through 12 education, even in the suburbs, where there's an inclination that we're to provide blank checks to the local schools to protect their quality somehow? But do you think that maybe more people are starting to say, how much are we spending and what is it producing in terms of student preparedness?
Oh, yeah, I think they're definitely looking at that, and pouring more money into our current system is not going to fix anything. I mean, Illinois teachers deserve to be, enrolled in fair and efficient retirement systems, and we're not saying that they shouldn't be paid well, but we definitely need to have that accountability there. So we definitely need to be looking at it, and I know that people in my district are definitely talking about that.
What do you think in terms of same people down to Springfield pursuing the same policies? So what does paradigm shift? What does a change in policy look like on the issue of property taxes to you?
So I definitely think that we need to keep the promises that we've already made, right, in terms of pensions. We don't want to touch the benefits or retirements that are already earned, but we need a new deal that's fair to our taxpayers and that also provides retirees with financial security of knowing that their retirement will actually be there. So that means looking at 401k systems for new employees going forward. That means changes to COLA. That means, Ted's a policy guy. He looks at the numbers all day long. Retirement at $54 at 54 years old and then having a multi-million-dollar pension isn't sustainable. So, that's a good argument of why we need to start looking at changing the retirement age as well.
Now, Marilyn, there's some arguments that that many of us will make is that, yes, we need to change those things that you just mentioned because that's really, we need to do the right things going forward, right? We can't keep doing the same stupid things.
Right.
Now, the question is, how are we going to handle this massive debt that every year seems to grow and grow and grow? Is it only fixing the system going forward that's going to do it, or are we going to have to dramatically change things so we have money for bringing those tax rates down and for making sure that money gets into the right places that oftentimes it's all being sucked into pensions? How do we fix our debt problem? How do we get the taxes down? Basically, is maybe the question.
Right. I mean, we need to look at consolidation across the state. I believe that it's 20% of our school districts have their own school boards. We just need to look at things like that, and in terms of how are we duplicating services and how can we combine those services and to bring those costs down.
All right. She is Marilyn Smilinski. She's a Republican candidate for state representative running against Marty Moylan in the 55th District, which is Park Ridge, Des Plaines, part of Elk Grove Village. Marilyn, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And Ted, I just want to pick up one point on the COLA. What's your impression of just eliminating the 3% COLA, indexing pension benefits to actual inflation, so it's not an annuity, which is now? How much could that bend the cost curve? How much could that simple reform start to bring us back from the abyss?
Going forward or?
Going forward.
Well, I think it'd probably have, I looked at freezing the whole COLA until we get our crisis under control, and that's already 6 years ago when I looked at that. and freezing that COLA and saying we're not paying a cost of living adjustment till the pensions are survivable again. And we looked, and that was about a third of the underfunded amount. So we're talking about a $30 billion impact, 30 to 40 billion probably. And
that seems like a pretty persuasive reform. That seems like a reform that people say, let's see, you're getting this benefit level, you're making more than you earned at a date certain. Obviously, these are defined benefit plans, so they're guaranteed regardless of market return, and so to give back that 3% COLA in a low inflation environment the last 20 years, that seems like something perhaps we could sell the public.
Well, I think so, and you could even be more fair than that. You could say for pensions greater than, pick a number, 70,000, you freeze the COLAs. Those people who have pensions of 20,000 and 25,000, keep the COLAs.
Yeah.
Right? So those people who are going to be struggling a little bit more, defend them. But, these guys that you mentioned earlier who got $200,000 pensions, why do they get COLAs?